This is the Retirement Mentality Channel. This is a place where I want to change your mentality about retirement, about how you think about money. And today we're going to talk about the word enough. Enough comes in a lot of different sizes, a lot of different shapes, a lot of different uses, a lot of different tones, tonalities. Enough is quite a diverse word. And it's a word that I don't think gets talked about enough. Oh, see what I did there? In terms of retirement, in terms of financial freedom, in terms of retiring early, in terms of your finances in general, it's always about a little bit more and work a little bit harder, work a little bit longer, get a little bit more, build wealth. But what's enough? Let's talk about that today. I'll start with a personal anecdote about myself and the word enough and what kind of goes through my mind when I think of the word enough. I used to live in this house. This was my view from my backyard and from my dining room window. And I had all of these mountains at my disposal. I had a four-wheeler parked in my garage that I could hop on and drive down the road, over a bridge, over the Gallatin River, into these mountains, and have all of this at my disposal. It was a beautiful, idyllic place to live. I never thought I would leave there. It was literally my dream house. I'd lived in Montana for a long time. I'd always wanted to live in this area, and I had achieved it. I had bought this house. I had remodeled it. It was beautiful. I owned a mortgage company, and I was making about $150,000 a year. I was 33 years old. I was growing the company. I was building up employees. I was in the process of opening up, I just opened up a second location. I bought a commercial building. I owned the space for my second location in Big Sky, and things were going great. This was a time when real estate prices were just going up as fast as you could write the contract on a piece of paper. You could turn around and sell it and make a profit. And I decided it was finally time for me to do my first flip house because I wanted more. We always want more. I was more from the business, second location, more from, trying to do a flip house and buy some rental properties. So I bought a $500,000 property close to Bridger Bowl ski area. And I had saved up $250,000 over my lifetime of owning a business, and through my whole 33 years of existence, I had owned the house that I was in. I owned the commercial piece of property that my second office was in, and I bought this flip house. And then I gutted the house and I put all $250,000 into the house. And people said, "Oh my gosh, Jeff, what are you gonna do if this doesn't work?" And I was like, well, I guess I'll just start over. Never actually thinking that was going to be an option. But I started the flip house in 2007, 2008 came along, bing, bang, boom, the market crashed and I couldn't sell the house. And I had over $15,000 in mortgage payments just between my commercial property, the rent on my office for my first location, the mortgage payment on my house, and the mortgage payment on the flip house. Not to mention employees and electric bills and water bills and everything else. So I just started robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I would refinance this house to make all these payments until there was no more money to suck out. And basically my whole world was crushing in. Everything was going into foreclosure. And my girlfriend at the time came in and said, "I didn't get with you because I wanted to be broke. I'm leaving." So everything that could go wrong went wrong, and I quickly realized that I had had enough. If I hadn't tried to get more, I probably could have survived. So whenever I think of what's enough now, I not only think of having more than enough and wanting more, but I also have the other side which says, now we need enough to make sure that never happens again. So for me, it's really a two-edged sword, trying to split the difference between what's too much, what's enough, what's protection against going broke, what's being greedy, what's quality of life. So it's a very complicated question. So I'm gonna dig into it a little bit today, and maybe some of my insights through this can help you figure out what's enough. So what's your enough? What's enough for you to say, that's enough, I need to quit my job? What's enough for you to say, that's enough, I'm tired of being broke? What's enough to say, that's enough, I'm not satisfied in my life? Enough can be a breaking point that gets you to a decision to make a better life, to make better decisions, to stop making bad decisions. So the breaking point enough can be a driver to someplace better. The breaking point enough gets you to the next enough. What is enough? How much is enough? How much is enough to replace the income at that job that's driving you crazy and sucking the life out of you? How much is enough to know that you'll never be broke or never go broke again? How much is enough for you to reach financial independence? We can go and we can look at the fulfillment curve. I can break into the computer and show you this. It basically shows that there's a place where you meet your survival needs, your comfort needs, then you get into luxury needs. Then there's a place where you start to get to a place of diminishing returns, and your fulfillment actually goes down at a certain level, and too much money can start to cause more stressors on your life than the joy or the contentment or the satisfaction that it creates. That's not me saying it. It's a study, it's research, it's out there. Look it up. So the next question, after you figure out what is enough, is how much effort is enough? You know, is it too much effort to get to where you want to be? Do you need to dial it back? What's the effort that you're willing to put in, and how much effort is enough to get what you want? Elon Musk did a commencement speech where he said that to work every hour of every day and never stop working. He said this to a bunch of college graduates. Do you think that's good advice? Do you think that that's bad advice? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you think that working 24/7, especially when you're a youngster out of college, is good or bad, or it sets you up to start bad patterns of overworking as you go into your older adult life. In today's work at home world that we live in, we can always be working. We can always be creating content. There's another post. You can stuff envelopes. You can do research. There's always something you can be doing to be working to make progress. And it's hard to know when to shut that off, when to turn it off, when to be with the family, when to drink a beer, when to watch TV, when to go exercise, when to do anything other than to work. Society seems to have turned the phrase overworked into hustle or die, the side hustle. And we've turned workaholic into overachiever and getting ahead. And, there's not really a negative connotation to working too hard anymore. We have cute phrases and side hustles and sayings to just show that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, to keep driving harder and harder and harder, to get more and more and more, to hit those goals. If we don't set parameters and stick to them, it's never enough. The goalpost keeps getting pushed back. Our brains are hardwired to keep wanting more. When we set a goal and we achieve it, we set a new goal. You make the first million and then you say, they say that the first million is the hardest one. So let's get one more million. Let's get two. And then you want to do it because you want to prove to yourself you can do it again, whatever it is. You just keep pushing the goalpost back, and there is never enough. Even when you set goals, your brain just wants to keep going forward. So you have to not only learn how to set the right goals, but how to stick to that parameter of what that goal is. Lifestyle creep, keeping up with the Joneses, whatever you want to call it, it's real. And as you get more, it gets easier to get nicer things. You get a raise, you get a new car. You get another raise, you get a bigger house. You get another raise, you get another car. You get another raise, you get a boat. That's what your neighbors are doing. That's what your friends are doing. That's what everybody else is doing. It seems normal. The capitalistic, consumeristic lifestyle of wanting more just comes with getting more. You get more money, you get more stuff. Satisfaction, it's not a finite thing. It doesn't have a numerical value. There's no way to put your finger on it. There's not a gauge that you can plug into to see where you are on the happy meter. So if you don't know what you want, it's never enough. It's why you find happy people sweeping out their dirt floor in their hut, and you find people on antidepressants in the middle of a divorce driving the Rolls Royce home to their mansion. Money doesn't intrinsically bring satisfaction. But when you learn not to give a fuck, it's like the world opens up. It's like a huge door with 100 locks unlocking to reveal places you've never seen before. Old ideas melt away, new fancy things you've never heard of spring up in front of you. The old adage of working hard, how does this go? You work all day to buy things you can't afford to impress people you don't like. That's a true thing. You know, we get caught up comparing ourselves to other people. If you want to compare yourself to somebody, look down the socioeconomic ladder and compare yourself to the people below you and not above you. I guarantee wherever you are right now, there's way more people who wish they were right there than how many people are above you. The problem is also, nobody knows how to enjoy the ride to where they're going. Everybody's so focused on the destination, their heads are down and we're just laser focused on getting to this point, and nobody's enjoying the ride. You got to take time to look around while you're on this journey to enjoy getting there. Otherwise, what's the point? It's just not worth it. If you actually could calculate backwards, what's the lifestyle that I want? How much does it cost? How much work does it take to get there? Am I willing to put that in? How many years does it take? And then you get back to the end, and then you're in a corner because you went backwards, and you're like, you can't move the goalpost at this point. You're already where you're supposed to be. So all you can do is accept that you've reached your goal, and now you go to the next step, which is enjoying the life that you've created, the life you worked so hard to create. I don't think there's actually a way to do that calculation and to work it all backwards where you end up in a corner and you can't trick yourself into changing the goals on yourself again. But I can tell you this, there's one thing you can't get enough of. That's time. And there's one thing that can buy time, and that's money. So whoever says money can't buy you happiness, fine. Okay, we'll give you that. But money can buy your time, and that's really what we're all after in this whole pursuit, is the time to live the life that we want to live. When you realize that time is the goal, you can kind of breathe a little bit, and that's when you can learn that, you know, even on the journey, you have to lift your head up and look out around and see the landscape of where you are in the middle of the journey to figure out what's enough, so that when you get there, you finally can say, I don't need one more year at work, one more month at work, one more house, one more rent payment, one more $100,000 in my ETF. At some point, the little bit mores will just eat up everything that you've got until another year, 2 more years, 5 more years have gone by trying to get a little bit more. And we're all guilty of it, myself included, because I don't want to go broke again. I don't want to be to that place where I was. So I keep thinking, one more house. If I buy one more house, the income from that extra property will get me to where I need to be. So that is the lesson that we need to learn, is to really drill down on where you want to be. Sure, life changes and things change as we go through life. Where your enough is today might not be where it is 5 years from now. If it's going to take you 5 years to where you're going, maybe you can get there sooner. It's hard to recognize. But if you don't think about the word enough, I guarantee it'll never be enough. So I don't know. As we go through this life, I watch a lot of videos in this space, and the word enough doesn't come up enough, I think. So I wanted to do this video and just talk about it a little bit and put a seed in your head that as you're trying to work towards FIRE or financial independence or whatever it is you're working towards, obviously you're working towards something great because you're on this channel and you're watching videos like this. So good for you. So just put it in the back of your head. It needs to be thought about. And one more thing that could help you is to hit the like button down there if you like this content, if you found this valuable. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. And if you support me, I can keep making videos like this for you. Thank you very much for watching. Buy the t-shirt in the link below. Helps the channel. Thank you.